Hi everyone, it's April Garwood from Banana Moon Studio. Recently I have taken some patterns that I actually published years ago in an ebook, and I have made them available as free patterns on my blog, and also given the option to purchase an ad-free PDF, and of course the ebook is still available. One of those patterns is called Seashore Shrug, and it is a shrug sized for girls. It's designed with long sleeves, and it has a crochet cable that runs from one sleeve end to the other. And if you haven't worked with cables before, maybe this is something that you aren't sure how to do. So I'm going to do a brief tutorial video here to show you how this pattern goes. So you start at one sleeve end working in the round and working this cable as you go, and then eventually once you finish the first sleeve you don't join the ends of your rounds anymore, and so you start working in rows or working flat, and this creates the opening around your torso, around your neck and shoulders and chest. And then once you get across the body, you begin working in the round again to make the other sleeve, working the cable as you go. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I will turn the camera around and show you how this is done. The Seashore Shrug pattern is written in sizes 2 through 10. And if I were going to make the smallest size, a size 2, I would need to chain 28 to begin the first sleeve. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller around, so I'm going to chain 20. And then the pattern says, being careful not to twist the chain, join to the first chain with a slip stitch. So I will go into this first chain, and then it says to lengthen loop, chain 1. I'm going to turn so I'm working back the right way here. Now when I use this lengthen loop, chain 1 in a pattern, this is a method of making a turning chain that doesn't leave the big gaps that a chain 3 normally would. So I'm going to make my loop a little bit longer, about the height of a double crochet, and chain 1. And then it says DC in each chain around. So that's double crochet in each chain around. I'm going to be working through the back loops of my chains just because I think that gives it a nice neat edge. I believe I've gone all the way around. I'm going to count my stitches and make sure I have the right number. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Perfect. Next, I want to join to the first stitch with a slip stitch. This lengthen loop and chain 1 that I did at the beginning, that doesn't count as a stitch, so I skip it, and I'll join in the top of my first double crochet. Next it says lengthen loop, well, actually it says turn first, so turn, and then it says lengthen loop chain 1, so I'll make this taller, chain 1, double crochet in next 12 stitches if I were making the size 2. Let's see, that's not quite halfway, so let's say I'm going to do 8. Wait a minute. Yep, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we have yarn barf. There we go. Okay, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, there is a lot of variation in crochet cable designs, and so realize that what I'm going to show you about how to work the cable in this pattern, it will be similar in some ways to the way that you work different types of cables in different patterns, but it probably won't be exactly the same unless you happen to be working with a pattern that has exactly the same cable in it. So just keep in mind there will be a little bit of variation in other patterns that you may see that include crochet cables. Alright, here it says skip the next 2 stitches. So this one and this one I will skip. And then it says FPTR, that stands for front post treble in next 2 stitches. Now if I were going to work just a standard treble stitch, I would yarn over twice and go into the top of this stitch because I'm skipping these 2. But because it's going to be a front post stitch, I'm actually going to go like so around the post of that stitch. And then yarn over and pull this loop up and go through 2 loops and 2 loops and 2 loops. And the next front post treble will be the same, but it's going to be around the post of the next stitch. This, when it says front post, you're going like so around the post. Then my instruction says, working in front of stitches just made, front post treble in 2 skipped stitches. So I'm going to front post treble 2 more times, but I'm going to go backwards to these 2 stitches that I skipped. So I'm going to bring my hook around the post of the first stitch that I skipped and work the stitch around that one. And another front post treble around the second stitch that I skipped. Sometimes these can be a little hard to find, but it's right here. You can still see that I've worked nothing in the top of it. Alright, and then my instruction has in parentheses cable made. If you can see it, it's right here. So I've made my cable, and then it says DC or double crochet in each remaining stitch and then join at the end of the round. So I've already worked both of these. That's where I put the post stitches. So now I'm going to come to the top of this one and finish working in double crochet the rest of this round. Alright, that's the end of my rounds, so I'm going to come here to join with a slip stitch. My next row, after I turn, says lengthen loop, chain 1, and then double crochet in the next 12 stitches if I were making the size 2, but I'm going to do 8 because of my smaller circumference that I'm doing. So double crochet, basically you're going to double crochet in all the stitches until you get to the cable or the post stitches that you did. Alright, and then my instruction says BPDC, which means back post double crochet in next 4 stitches. So I'm going to be doing post stitches again. Here you can see my crossed treble stitches. These are the 4 cable stitches right here. And what I'm going to do now, because these are double crochets, I'm going to yarn over 1 time. And because it says back post, this time I'm going to start on the back of my fabric and come around the post this direction and pull up that loop. And then I will go through 2 loops and through 2 loops. Again, I'll be doing another back post double crochet. I need to find the next stitch, and it's here, but I'm going to start from the back side of the fabric because these are back post double crochet stitches. The next stitch, just going in order, is going to be here. So again, I'll start on the back side of the fabric to go around the post. And 1 more back post double crochet around this one. And that's my 4 back post double crochet stitches. You can see how they're kind of sitting behind this little shelf here. These are the tops of the stitches I worked into. Alright, and from there I'm going to double crochet in each remaining stitch of this round. So I'm here. And now I'll find my first double crochet stitch from this round and join them. Alright, so I find that after I work the wrong side row that has those back post double crochets, it tends to define my cable a little better. So now you can see how I have these stitches crossed over each other. So it's starting to look nice. And then my instructions tell me that for rounds 14 through 15, I'm going to alternate repeating the last 2 rounds that I've shown you. So I'm going to do a few more of those and then show you how to split to work flat. I need to turn, lengthen my loop, chain 1, and double crochet until it's time to work the cable. Alright, now it's time to work my cable. So again, it's time to do front post treble. So I will yarn over twice, skip the 2 stitches here, and go around the post from the front side of this stitch. And then around this one. And then I have to go across the front of these back to these 2 stitches that I missed. So 2 yarn overs and back to the first skipped stitch. I went through too many loops. There we go. And yarn over twice, and my second skipped stitch is here. Alright, and then I'll come back here to the next stitch that's unworked and double crochet for the rest of the round. Okay, back to the end. So I'm going to join in the top of my first stitch, but I think I didn't get my hook in there right. This yarn I'm using splits a little bit. So. Alright, and then I'll turn. Here's how my cable is looking so far. I'm going to lengthen my loop, chain 1, and double crochet until it's time to work the cable. Alright, and so now I need to do 4 back post double crochets. So I'll yarn over 1 time, and beginning on the back side of the fabric, I'll go around the post of this first stitch. Yarn over. The next stitch is kind of hidden, but here it is. I'll start on the back side of the fabric and go around the post. And the third one goes around the post of this stitch. And the fourth one around the post of this stitch. That didn't feel like it went smoothly. Let's try that one again. There we go. And now I'll double crochet for the rest of the round. And now I'll join to the top of the first stitch. And let's see how the cable's looking now. So now we can see a little better what this cable is going to look like, and it's looking really nice. So I want to show you what's going to happen when you split to make the opening for the body. I'm going to go ahead and turn, lengthen my loop, chain 1, and I'm going to go ahead and double crochet until it's time to work the cable. Alright, I'm at my cable, and I'm going to work my cable just the same. There's not going to be any change here at this part. So I'll yarn over twice, skip these 2 stitches, and go around the post of this stitch. And then I'll yarn over twice and go back to these 2 skipped stitches right here and go around the post of the first one. And yarn over twice and around the post of the second skipped stitch. And then I'm going to go ahead and just double crochet to the end. At this point, it doesn't seem any different, but we'll see in just a minute how it's going to change. So I've come to the end of this row, and at this point, what I'm going to do is not join. What I was doing before was placing my hook here in the first stitch and doing a slip stitch. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to leave it unjoined, and I'm going to turn and then just continue. The pattern is the same, except that you're not going to join at the end of your rounds when it's time to make the opening for the body. So you'll be doing a lot more rounds, a lot more rounds to make your shrug before you split than I did, because I'm just demonstrating some of the points where you might be unsure. So I only worked a few rounds before splitting, but you'll work several more to make longer sleeves. And now it's time to do my 4 back post double crochets. So I'll do this one first. You just take the stitches in order when you do these back post stitches. The second one is kind of hard to see sometimes because it hides behind these 2. Make sure you find it and do it second. And then the next one is here. And last is this one. And then I double crochet the rest of the way around. One more. And again, if I'm still working the opening for the body, I'm not going to join here as well. But you can see how the cable's coming along, and it's looking really nice. Very nice definition. So it's really pretty easy from here. Every row and round of the shrug is the same, except that when you open for the body, you won't join at the end of the round. And then when you're ready to begin the next sleeve, you'll begin joining again at the end of the round, and it will close that opening. But other than that, all of the rounds are the same. So I hope that this has been helpful to you so that you can learn how to make this Seashore Shrug. And please remember to look in the description box. That's where you will find the link to this free crochet pattern. And it is also where you will find a link to subscribe to my newsletter, which you get 2 additional free patterns when you do that. And also just the link to my homepage so you can see what's latest and greatest on my blog. Please also remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel. Leave your comments down below about the things that you would like to learn. And also, please remember to share this video with your crocheting friends. Thank you so much.